Hello viewers, welcome back. We are now starting off our chapter 2, and this is the compact DCF model. And video number 1 is going to be looking at the keyboard shortcuts. That's basically what we are going to look at in this chapter 2. You say this is chapter 2 of DCF valuation modeling course. And as our chapter 2 compact DCF model, we are kickstarting with our video number 1 as keyboard shortcuts. Video number 2, we shall look at the model structures. Video number 3, we shall look at formula building, and we'll proceed to the rest of the videos that we shall be having in our discussion as far as chapter 2 is concerned. So, without wasting more time, let's dive in and get started. Alright, as you can see, we have the template open for the DCF model. That is our compact DCF model. As you probably know, we are really big fan of using the keyboard to operate the computer, especially when we are working in Excel or when we are working with a financial model like this one. Now, if you haven't started experimenting with the keyboard, you really should. It is just so much fun and faster and even more accurate than using the mouse or the trackpad on your computer. So let's start with a little demonstration just to get you started, and we see what we have. Now, we are going to do some bit of demonstration on the things that we may look at. Let's suppose that we want to take some of the cells on this cover page. The whole of this is our cover page. Up to that point, that is our cover page. Now, let's try and assume that maybe you want to take some of these cells on the cover page and we change their fill color for them. What we can use, we can now try to use the arrows to navigate within the section of their cover page. So let's try to use the arrows to move using that navigational column. We are using now the down arrow to move around, and we are going to, maybe we start from this row 19. We start highlighting because we want to highlight a bunch of cells. Maybe you can highlight from this point, that's cell F19. Can use the shift key and then the down arrow to highlight. Maybe we go up to that point, that is F24. Then we can also proceed to this, maybe to that point. As you've seen, we've highlighted these values, all these bunch of cells. As you can see from there, these are the cells that we've highlighted. So what we want to do to this section, we want to make sure that we actually get these values and change their fill color. So what we are going to do, since we have highlighted the section that we want to change the fill color. Now, for a person using the mouse, you would probably be inclined to drift up here in the Excel ribbon, this side, in the home section of the ribbon. Then you have to move over to here where it says fill color, and you come and click this down arrow that you are seeing next to that icon, and when you click there, you're going to see that that small down arrow that you saw there, it opens up a palette of possible colors that we could select or that we could click into. And that's one way when you're using the mouse. But as we said, we are big fans of using the keyboard. We are going to leave this for now. And we are going to focus on looking at the alternative way how we can be able to do that by going through the Excel shortcuts. Now, let's try a different way using the keyboard. And now, the key to learning the keyboard shortcut is making use of the Alt key. So what we are going to do now, we are just going to tap that Alt key. So you can try to remove this to have that in focus. So when you hit the Alt key for the first time, we are going to see all these letters that you are seeing. These letters will appear across all the menu. Now, we want to access the home menu or the home section. So we are going to tap H, and that H is going to bring some new colors. You are seeing that those set of new letters comes up, and what we can see right here is we have the fill color here. For fill color, we are seeing that we have that letter there, H. So now what we are going to do is tap H again, and it will bring to that section. You'll see that it opens up this palette of different colors. And what we are going to do now is just use the arrow key to use the arrows that we have on our keyboard to move over to this blue. Maybe we just want, let's just use the arrow keys. We just move downwards. We can now pick from our standard colors here. You will be seeing that whenever you be moving around, these colors are going to keep on changing. So you'll be able to select which color you actually like to use. So what we are going to do, we are going to pick this blue one. Maybe we can pick that, and we come and hit our enter key. And you will see that that color has been displayed there for those bunch of cells that we have highlighted. Now, we have that fill color for those different cells, and we've gone through that by using the keyboard. Now that we may have seemed very fast, but the keyboard becomes so quick once you learn a lot of these keystrokes. Because if you are familiar with your keyboard, you can actually be able to learn how to use some of these shortcuts better. So let's just do another quick example. Let's suppose that we want to remove the fill color from these same cells that we've just put the fill color. So what we do, we highlight them. Maybe we can start from this point. Hold down the shift key, highlight with the down arrow, highlight then across with the right arrow. So we have highlighted that section, and what we want to do is want to make sure that we remove the fill color from those cells. Again, we will hold down the shift key just to highlight those area, this area that we've selected. That's the area in the blue font. We are going to tap the Alt key, and what we want to have, we want to go for H again for home, and then we want H another time for the fill color, because our fill color from here we have letter H. So we tap H again for our fill color, but now we want to we want to move down at this bottom right here. Bottom right here where it says no fill. So you are seeing where it says no fill, we have N. So what we are going to do, we tap the N key. And when you do that, it has removed the fill color, and that is super quick because we can see we've just used the small shortcut to actually have that. It was Alt key plus H for home plus H for fill color and then N for no fill. That is the shortcut for removing the fill color. So that's what we have there. Now, since we've just done that, so if you want to just get, so you will see that if you're just getting started with the keyboard, it may feel a little bit uncoordinated and awkward and even slow for the first couple of days. But if you keep doing it, it will get really faster. For instance, if you want to change the fill color, you just select any cell. Maybe we just shift right arrow and then the down arrow. If you've selected that, what you just do, you just come here and say Alt H H, then you put in the color you want. You use now the down arrow to move along and put in a color that you may be interested in. Then you hit enter. You've seen it has actually done that very fast. It will actually change the fill color in just a minute. Now, what we want to do now, we want to remove the fill color. So it is also quick because what you have to do is go to your Alt, because the figure is still selected, Alt, H for home, H for fill color, then N for no fill. And you find it has removed that super quick. So that's what we got from there. So let's get this removed. So now since we've removed that, we can now go to another thing. Now, one other tip that we love is a little thing that we do to maximize the amount of the real estate on our screen. In other words, the amount of space that we have here on our screen. Now, we can see that the Excel ribbon up here, this Excel ribbon up here, the whole of these items that you see that comes up on this area, whatever that is on that same area, it is actually the Excel ribbon that is actually trying to take some bit of space from our working area. Now, this Excel ribbon that you've seen at the top, it takes quite a bit of space right across the top of this monitor. Now, if you want to make sure that you have that removed, what you just do, you just use this shortcut, you just Control plus F1. Control F1 will actually make that disappear. So let's try it. Control F1. F1 is just next to the X to the escape key in your left corner of the keyboard. So you can see that Control plus F1, it has acted as a toggle that keeps that ribbon on and off. Because if you go back to Control F1, it will bring it back. Control F1, you'll find it has come back. So it acts as a pivot point to make sure that we have that either displayed or non-displayed on our computer or laptop monitors. So we could just go like that and we toggle it off and on and create a lot of more space for ourselves. Now you can see the space has increased. So when you put it on, Control F1, you find that it has captured some space. We can only see up to row 16. But if we push, we remove it, Control F1, you'll find that we can also see up to, say, row 20, meaning it had taken over 4 rows and we couldn't be able to see them. So that's why you can use that to toggle those off and on, so that to create more space for ourselves when we are working in Excel. Now, you might worry that because now if it has been removed, someone may be worried that since it is removed, I'm not going to be able to access the things that are in that ribbon. But in fact, if you're using the keyboard, you can still access those features that are within that ribbon super easily. And again, if we are to go to the Alt key, so we see those letters appear for all the menu. Like for home, for example, we have H here for home, N for insert, P for page layout. So we can see the different things that we have there. Now, if we want to tap H, it makes sure that it brings that ribbon back. It brings the ribbon back or it expands the ribbon downwards, so that you can actually have a look at those features. So it means you can be able to see those things. So once you are finished with what you are selecting, then it can go back and collapses. As you are seeing, it has collapsed. So if you're using the keyboard, you can actually access those things that are still in that ribbon. So that is going to create a big space for our work that we are doing. So the other thing that is really nice when we are working in large financial models is to be able to quickly zoom in and zoom out to bring everything perfectly into focus. Now, one trick you can do with your mouse is you can hold down the control key and then roll the mouse wheel. If at all you want to navigate and you want to navigate using the mouse, you can hold down the control key and then roll your mouse wheel, and it will allow you to quickly zoom in and zoom out. But now, for us that are focusing on the use of the keyboard, there is also a shortcut for us to actually have that in place. So what we do, in order to activate this similar command with the keyboard, we have to hold down our control key and alt key all together, and then we can use plus or minus. When you use plus, you are zooming out. When you use minus, you are zooming in, to have like the way we can have those items in focus there. So that's what you can do on your keyboard. Just like this, you'll be able to move in and move out in a nice way without using your mouse. And you can actually see what we are doing. So if you try to hold down the control key and the alt key, you use minus, you use plus to increase, you'll be able to see that from down here, this point here, you will see that the zoom level here is going to be increasing. If you use the minus, it will be able to decrease, as you can see. So we are seeing that we are actually having those zoom parameters changing within Excel. So when you look at this point here and you try to zoom in and zoom out, this point right here, you can actually be able to see this whole side here. You can actually be able to see that zooming level that we have. You'll be able to see when they are increasing and when they are reducing. So you can actually see that we have those in place. Now, we can see that we have those perfectly working. So, in the next video, we are going to give a quick tour of this same model that we are in, because right now we've been focusing on our cover page alone, but we also have the model itself here, because we have another tab, or because we say the tab is the same as sheet or a worksheet, and a group of sheets, they're actually called workbook. You find this is one sheet, but in one workbook, you may find there are very many tabs or sheets. So that's what we have for now. Let's meet in the next video and we'll look at the model structure. We'll see you there.